You gonna go play?
What's wrong with you people? I am a dog. Oh my god. Oh my god, that one's perfect because his ears are...
Lui fittissimo notice.
What are you doing?
I can't. What's he done? I know.
回去。
Today, I'm going to tell you a story about the tail-wagging tail of Barnaby Barty Buttercup 8, but everyone just called him Barty, a French bulldog puppy with a face like a crumpled velvet cushion, a snort that sounded suspiciously like a deflating balloon animal, and a firm belief that he was a world-renowned opera singer. Barty didn't just bark, he sang. He didn't just whine. He delivered heart-wrenching arias of canine longing. And he didn't just snort. He punctuated his performances with dramatic, snorting flourishes. His favorite venue? The backyard, particularly when Mrs. Higgins, his human mom, was watering the garden. The sound of the water spraying from the hose seemed to trigger Barty's inner Pavarotti. He would throw back his squished head, his wrinkled face contorting with emotion, and unleash a series of high-pitched yips, mournful howls, and dramatic snorts that sounded vaguely like a very confused opera singer trying to communicate with the sprinkler system. Mrs. Higgins, bless her patient heart, would try to continue watering her petunias, occasionally pausing to offer a gentle, "That's very nice, Barty," while trying to suppress a giggle. The neighborhood dogs, however, were less appreciative. Their barks and howls often joined Barty's performance, creating a truly unique and utterly chaotic backyard opera. One sunny afternoon, Barty was in the middle of a particularly passionate aria about the injustice of not getting enough belly rubs when the garden hose, unattended, began to spray him. Barty, mid-howl, was drenched from head to toe. Instead of stopping, however, he incorporated the water into his performance, his wet fur glistening dramatically in the sunlight. He shook his head, sending droplets flying, and continued his song, his voice even more powerful and slightly gargling than before. Mrs. Higgins, soaked and laughing, declared it his watery Wagnerian phase. Barty loved his squeaky toys, especially his rubber duck, Quacky. Quacky was his co-star in his operatic performances, often serving as the silent and occasionally squeaky muse. So, when Quacky's squeaker suddenly stopped working, Barty was devastated. His vocal partner was mute. This called for a dramatic intervention. This was the case of the silent quack. Barty immediately launched an investigation, treating Quacky with the utmost care, as if he were a fragile opera star who had lost his voice. He gently nudged Quacky, trying to coax out a peep. He held Quacky up to his ear, listening intently for any faint sound. He even attempted to give Quacky a doggy vocal massage, which mostly involved him licking Quacky's rubbery beak. Lily and Tom, his human kids, suggested that Quacky might just be broken. They explained that squeaky toys sometimes just stop squeaking. Barty, however, refused to accept this mundane explanation. He believed Quacky's silence was a mystery of great artistic significance, a tragic loss for the canine opera world. He spent the rest of the day carrying Quacky around, occasionally bursting into impromptu arias of mourning. his voice filled with dramatic snorts and whimpers. The case of the silent squeak remained unsolved, but Barty, the determined opera singer, never gave up hope that Quacky would one day find his voice again. Barty loved watching the delivery drivers. He was fascinated by their big trucks, their uniforms, and the mysterious packages they carried. He dreamed of one day being a delivery driver himself, delivering joy in the form of his operatic performances to the world. One sunny afternoon, a delivery driver arrived with a large package for the Higgins family. Mrs. Higgins signed for the package and placed it on the porch, the delivery driver heading back to his truck. Barty, seeing his opportunity, decided to stage an impromptu performance for his captive audience. He positioned himself dramatically on the porch steps, his squished face contorted with emotion, and unleashed a series of high-pitched yips, mournful howls, and dramatic snorts that echoed down the street. The delivery driver, initially startled, paused and stared at the singing French bulldog, a look of utter bewilderment on his face. Barty, mistaking the driver's stunned silence for rapt attention, continued his performance with even more gusto. He added a few dramatic head tilts and a flourish of tail wags, his voice growing louder and more passionate. The delivery driver, now surrounded by a growing audience of amused neighbors, couldn't help but chuckle. He pulled out his phone and started filming the canine opera singer, his package delivery momentarily forgotten. When Mrs. Higgins finally came out, apologizing profusely for Barty's impromptu concert, the delivery driver waved it off, still grinning. "That was the most unique delivery I've ever made," he said, shaking his head in disbelief. Barty, taking a dramatic bow, which mostly involved him wiggling his rear end, wagged his tail triumphantly. He had finally made his stage debut, albeit on the porch of his own house, for a slightly bewildered but ultimately entertained audience. Barty Buttercup VIII, the accidental opera singer, the tenacious explorer, and the owner of the world's most dramatic snort, continued to bring his own brand of hilarious chaos and boundless enthusiasm to the Higgins household and beyond. If you like this video, please leave a like and a subscribe. It will really help our channel grow. But if you don't like it, then just skip it and don't forget to check out our other videos. Thank you very much and goodbye.